Hello everyone, thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Forbes Flash. I want to start off with a bit of local news that came out on Monday as we celebrated Earth Day here in New York City. Get ready to see a lot fewer single-use plastic bags around. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo just officially banned them statewide. It's estimated that the state uses 23 billion plastic bags every year, and that 50% of them end up in landfills and waterways. It's not great for Mother Earth, obviously. So people are starting to step up and figure out how to make and use something that's not so harmful for our environment. Following in the footsteps of California and Hawaii, New York will be the third state to completely ban single-use plastic bags. Forget your reusable tote on your next grocery trip, you will still be able to buy a bag for 5 cents, with the fee going toward New York's Environmental Protection Fund. And you've got a bit of time to adjust. The legislation doesn't go into effect until next March. And now onto some business news from this week. Tesla had a complicated quarter, according to their new CFO. The company fell back into the red in Q1 after last year's profitable second half, thanks to weaker deliveries of its electric vehicles. Just 2 days after an event where Elon Musk touted their new self-driving computer and other tech, the billionaire released downbeat results, all the while promising significant growth in deliveries and production in future quarters. While analysts had expected a Q1 loss, it wasn't predicted to be this big, and major concern is weakening demand for the carmaker's stylish electric vehicles. So what's ahead? The company's Shanghai gigaplant is slated to become operational this year, which would help them reach their full-year production goal. But industry experts are still skeptical. One thing I feel sure of this week, that demand for coffee isn't going anywhere, at least on my behalf. The world's near-universal love for a cup of joe is turning out to be a lucrative endeavor for Charles Xingyu Liu, one of the earliest backers and chairman of Luckin Coffee. The fast-growing Chinese company is on a quest to overtake Starbucks, opening 2,370 stores in the country in just 18 months. Luckin has filed to go public on New York's NASDAQ stock exchange. So, what does it all mean for Liu? For now, billionaire status. His 30.5% stake in the company is worth around $800 million. Liu first made it big when founding car rental company Car Inc. in 2007. He guided the company to an IPO in 2014, raising over $400 million on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. But Liu's investment in Luckin Coffee is now his most valuable holding. Cheers! I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the conversation taking place this week about student loan debt, brought back into the headlines by Senator Elizabeth Warren's proposal to eliminate up to $50,000 in student loan debt per person. She's not the only presidential candidate to take on the challenge, which is inarguably a crisis for America right now. Here's how her fellow 2020 contenders plan to take a crack at it. Democrat Kirsten Gillibrand is a co-sponsor of the Debt-Free College Act of 2018, a messaging bill that would offer federal matching funds to states for preventing undergrads from taking on debt to attend public colleges. On Twitter, she says that she's thinking about refinancing student loans at 4%, a level she's introduced legislation on in the past. Bernie Sanders wants to make undergrad public education tuition free, as well as cut student loan interest rates by returning to a pre-2006 formula for calculating them. Plus, the legislation would enable all borrowers, even those with bad credit or in default, to refinance their loans at the current rates. Joe Biden, who announced his 2020 campaign Thursday morning, has an uphill battle to fight when it comes to the student loan crisis. As a senator, he was the major force behind the bankruptcy reform bill that made it impossible to discharge private student loan debt in bankruptcy. But his spokesman says that the private student loan situation has changed, so we can expect a different stance from Biden moving forward. As for Donald Trump's stance on the matter, he doesn't seem very interested in student loans as an issue. The Department of Education just released new proposals that would reduce the number of federal loan repayment programs to 2 and cap the amount parents and grad students can borrow from the federal government. Lots more to come on that as we get deeper into campaigns, of course. Stay tuned. And if all the talk of student loans makes you want to take a break from reality, how about spending some time brainstorming about retirement? This week we announced our annual list of best places to retire in the U.S., which includes 25 locales that offer both affordability and high quality of life. They rank in size, climate, and culture, so you can take your pick of the beach or the mountains. They all offer excellent retirement value cost-wise. Some of the most recognizable names on the list: Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Savannah, Georgia, and San Antonio, Texas. And a few you might not recognize: Maryville, Tennessee, Wenatchee, Washington, and Columbia, Missouri. For the first time this year, we went on a road trip to a few of the cities on the list to meet folks who'd settled into retirement there. Instead of hearing the reasons from me, I'll let them explain it themselves.
My name is Arlene Hines.
And I'm her husband, Terry Hines.
And we live in Columbia, Missouri.
Downton Abbey.
Oh, Downton Abbey? Oh, yeah.
She retired from teaching, and we had a daughter, and her family moved to Columbia when they got out of college, out of the university. and moved to Columbia to start working. And we actually kind of moved here because of the kids and the grandkids.
We loved it. There's so many things to do here. With him being a retired CPA and me a retired teacher, you watch your budget a little bit. And this community is very economical to live in because you can buy a house for, let's say, a lot more reasonable price than you could in the state of California or many other cities.
No offense to California.
No offense to California. But yeah, it's just very reasonable to live here.
And I'll leave you with sweet dreams of a relaxing retirement ahead of what's sure to be another busy week next time we meet. Thanks for tuning in.